doctor. Maybe I am very careful when I go to the doctor.
Which makes sense. Well, it makes a lot of sense. So some people, when I work, I've had other people I know that have had a doctor that abused them, and they feel very nervous going to a doctor. And often they bring a friend to help them. They obviously have a new doctor, but they bring someone. They sometimes make sure they know something about the doctor, interview the doctor, find out other people, friends, somebody that goes to the doctor that knows the doctor longer, to know that the doctor's real safe, so that they make sure more information, because then that helps you feel safer. Like your doctor now, is it a different doctor?
Actually, I ready to go to the doctor.
You what?
I rarely go to the doctor.
You rarely go to the doctor. Oh, okay.
When I got sick, I just take medicine.
Oh, okay, so you avoid going to the doctor. Okay, that makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. Well, you know what you could do is find out somebody here that has a doctor that they feel they trust. Does anyone have a doctor here you trust? No?
I mean, we just go to the hospital for checkup when we are sick. We don't have a...
Oh, you don't have a specific doctor, so you just get whoever you get. Oh, so that's a different, oh, okay, here than in the US. In the US, you have like a doctor. A lot of people do.
Private doctor.
What?
When you got sick, you call the doctor.
Yeah, or you make an appointment. I mean, you can go to the hospital, but a lot of people don't like that because you just get whoever is on call or whoever works there that day. So a lot of times we don't like it because you just, maybe you get someone you like and maybe you don't, so then, and you don't really know their qualification, everybody's different. So if you choose a doctor, so you don't do that here. Oh, okay, I didn't realize.
No, actually in Vietnam, they do some people they have daughter because it takes time to go to the hospital. So it's more convenient for them to see a private doctor at night time or at weekend because they have to work in the hospital during the day.
Oh,
so
okay.
At night or at weekend.
No problem for the kids.
Yeah. I mean, but it happened in Vietnam also.
Okay.
So doctor.
Well,
Different kind, like in that situation, if the baby or the adult we got sick, we call the doctor and he comes for the checkup or give us some medicine and we pay him right away. And in the US, as I know, or any other countries, you have the contract with the doctor.
Yeah.
And they go to pay them every month, like monthly payment or annually payment for the doctor. But here, we don't pay monthly for the doctor. Just whenever we need him, we pay for that time only.
yeah, well, I do that too. I pay when I see the doctor. But then I can also know, like in the US, you could Google, your doctor and find out what people think of the doctor because it's all on the internet. So if people don't like the doctor, they're going to give a bad rating of the doctor. But maybe in your situation, you might think about, okay, if you're sick, you don't want to avoid the doctor. How do you maybe bring someone with you to the doctor and know that it's not silly to bring someone with you, right? Because I think part of it is the shame sort of thinks, oh, I shouldn't have to bring someone, or that seems silly. But it's scary. It's just,
You may ask why one doctor.
Oh yeah, that's.
I prefer woman doctor.
Okay, so you can. Can you ask? Is there any reason why you couldn't go to the doctor and say, "Can I please have a woman doctor"?
You may ask them, but it depends on them. But you can ask them, tell them first.
So in the US, if people, a lot of people that have had some sexual trauma will request or only want a female doctor. They'll go and they'll say, I need a female doctor, or they want a female nurse in the room. Because it feels kind of, it's very similar to, we were talking about the snakes in the water yesterday, right? And it's a similar thing, because now it creates like anxiety, like, oh, I don't want to do that, you know, it feels scary. And so I think to be able to say, okay, how do you do that? By making it feel safer, you know, and no doctor should do, that's just horrible. And no doctor should do that. It's horrible. But I mean, they really should like not have a license to practice. So do you know where the doctor is now? Do you know who that doctor is? No. Okay, it's just, okay, wow.
You should know, so you will avoid him. Thank you.
Sure.
And I have another question. How can we help a person who often have a negative thinking?
Oh, well,
And she introvert person, and she doesn't want to interact with other people.
so if somebody's, so you obviously know this about the person. You've heard them say things that make you think they're thinking negative. You've talked to the person enough to know that they think a lot of negative thoughts.
Because I have the same friend like that who always think negative, thinking about just nothing. I look at nothing that much, but she always like exaggerates and think of negative thinking.
Well, like the catastrophizing and all that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so what I do, particularly, you just all went through 3.5 days of training. It's a perfect time to, when you're with that friend, to say, oh, I went through this interesting training. Because it makes it, and I wonder, you know, it made me think, I'm looking at myself and my thinking, and I wonder, I learned a lot about how our thinking affects how we feel. So you can use, a lot of times when people go to something, they can use the information, but not like, oh, you're telling your friend what to do, because no one likes that. But you just say, you know, I wonder if this might help. You're not telling her how to think differently. You're just saying, you know, because one of the things that I learned was how our thinking affects how we feel. And it concerns me, it worries me for you that, you know, maybe this affects you. So you share it in a caring way that you're concerned, and you know, like you can say, you know, one of the things that the person was saying was that, you know, sometimes if we think a lot of negative things, and then it affects how we feel, like we get down or depressed, or and I don't know if, you know, I mean, what do you think? You know, you could either ask what she thinks of that, or you could, part of it is I obviously want to be careful. You don't want them to come in and you say, oh, I know all the answers, I figured you out, I was listening to this doctor and it made me think of you, so I have all this information. Because nobody likes that, right?
I add one more thing.
Yeah.
That we should be like very careful, because my friend, she shared with me that when I talk to someone else, she said when I talk to her, and she told me that I'm very negative. She told me right away that I am negative, so I don't like that. It is a judgment, not like what I want to hear.
She told you that someone else said that she's negative.
Said to her, yeah, she
Okay.
is negative. And so I think the same. Like I heard.
You think that?
Yeah, because she always has negative thinking. That it is very difficult to approach her in an appropriate way to let her know that she does have negative thinking, and she is like always very hot-tempered and lose control. and it affects her a lot. But it's hard to approach.
Yeah, so some people aren't open. Okay, so that's the hard part. Sometimes people aren't that open. Like, so, I mean, I like to have friends in my life that are open, but not everybody's open. But, you know, I like it so that if I want people to tell me when I'm doing, you know, you're sounding negative, oh, I should look at that, you know, because I don't want to be negative. But some people, if you tell them that, they're like, oh, you know. So you don't want to be judgmental. But I would sort of start with saying, even if she says that, say, well, I worry a little bit, I do worry a little bit about you about this. And then see what she does. What do you mean? Why do you worry? Because when you worry, you're concerned, right? You say, I'm a bit concerned. Sometimes I do get concerned myself. You don't have to say that you're negative. You say, sometimes I get concerned myself about you. And I care about you. And, you know, I do care about you, and what do you know, now somebody who's interested, then she might say, what do you mean? So you think I'm negative? You know, well, I just wonder if something's bothering you, because it does seem like you're not that happy. So you could try to use different words. You don't have to say you're so negative, right? Because obviously she didn't want to hear that. But you say it in a different way. You say it softer, kinder, more accepting. Like you're not asking her to change, but you are concerned. You might be concerned. Like my concern, sometimes my concern is when people are negative is if I hang out with them too much, then it makes me feel negative. Like if I'm around people negative all the time, then I feel like I try to help other people, and they're often negative, so I can't have too many friends that are negative, because I want to just, you know, put the blanket over my head at night and just hide, right? So I have to be careful not have too many people in my life that are negative. I try to be careful about that. But so I wouldn't say that to her. I just would say I'm concerned. I'm concerned just, and then let her ask questions. Why? You know, it just seems like you're not happy. Then if she says she's happy, oh, okay, I didn't know you're happy. You know, I'm like, let her tell you, you know. And maybe she'll say more, oh, nobody understands, I have it hard, these things are happening, nothing goes my way, you know, and maybe she has some things. Well, you know, and then you can kind of maybe share from a more personal standpoint. But this does bring up the question is, when you're helping other people or you're in a job that involves dealing with other people's suffering, it's important that you balance out who's in your personal life. Meaning that, you know, you have to watch how much time you spend with people that are really negative. I'm not saying don't be friends with your friend. I don't mean that. But does that make sense? Right? Okay. And how would your friend respond if you just said, you know?
I told her that I see a negative person, and she recognized that, but she doesn't care much about that.
I think she can suffer. She has the ability to suffer.
She recognized that she has negative thinking, but she doesn't care much about that. She can accept it.
Yeah, so sometimes we have to just accept that other people don't want to change, right? So we have to just say, well, they have a right, we all have a right to choose our life, right? And if they want to choose negative thinking, they have a right to choose it, you know? And that I try to let go of that, like the control of it. Like, well, that's sad to me because it probably will affect your friends the quality of their life. But then I also, I don't have to work on changing them. I don't need to, that's their life. But if they say negative things, oh gosh, so cloudy out today. Oh, it's so this. I said, oh, I can also be myself and say, oh, say about the positive things I'm seeing. And, being able to say, oh, I actually thought that was really nice. Because, maybe you go to the same thing, do the same thing, and one person says, oh, I can't believe this person did this or that, or this negative thing happened. Another person goes, oh, wasn't that really lovely? And they noticed all these other things. Right? So I just still say, well, I'm going to voice my opinion. But it's hard if that person's like that all the time. Very hard.
Because my friend, I care for her. I want her to have a better life or a happier life. Maybe she doesn't recognize that, and she doesn't want to change.
Yeah.
I think now I should accept that. She doesn't want to change.
Yeah, and you never know that someone won't want to change later. So I just try to be myself. I accept them. Oh, that's sad. And I accept them. And then at the same time, if I'm with the friend, I talk about the things I'm learning. Like I don't know, maybe you learn, oh, I'm learning about mindfulness. It's really been interesting, and I learned a lot about that, and you just share that. That's what you have to share. Maybe they have all these negative thoughts to share with you. But you say, I'm learning this thing. It was very interesting. And maybe they look at you like, whatever, that's strange. But you shared it, and maybe then they leave and they're curious. Wow, why are you so happy? Why were you so calm? And they are curious. So I've had conversations with people and friends before where later they say, why are you so happy? Why are you you always seem to want to learn something. And then they're open. I said, well, it helps me. I feel like it's making me better. I don't have all the answers, but I feel like it's helping my life. I'm feeling happier. And then now they're interested. Now they want to know more, and now maybe they want to grow. But that doesn't always happen. Sometimes people we have in our family, right? Or they don't want to grow, they don't want to change. So, it's hard though. It's hard because you care about the person, so you want them to have a better life. So.
Sometimes I want to run away her, and I don't want to be her friend.
Yeah, it's hard. And what's one thing that's hard is when you start growing yourself and somebody isn't growing. It usually causes more distance in the friendship, because it's like you're going one direction and they're going a different direction, and it's very, very difficult. And it's also more difficult to have conversations. Like if you meet the person for dinner or lunch, or you have them over to your house and you start talking, the things you want to talk about might be really different. The more you grow, the things you want to talk about might be very different from what they want to talk about. So. One thing I know is that it's a hard balance. Because sometimes I have, I don't want to get rid of people that I've known for a long time or care about. But I also have to take care of myself. So I have to make sure that I'm surrounding myself with people that encourage me, or they challenge me, or motivate me, or they're trying to grow. They share something new that makes me think, oh, that's interesting. I'm going to try that. That I like that, because then I become a better person. right? If I'm around people that are doing things that, like, oh, that's interesting, oh, that's nice, then I feel like, oh, it kind of inspires me, right? If I get around too many people that are negative, then I just feel like, oh, I'm the only one that's trying, you know, it's very hard. So. What other thoughts? You all are nodding. Is that hard for, so you guys have grown a lot here in this community. Do you have other people, have friends that maybe aren't as into emotional health or that aren't as aware as you are? Yeah. It's hard. What about other questions? Yes.
About sleeping problems.
Yeah.
Also. Yeah. That was a time that it's really easy for me to fall asleep. The time like I just lay down on the bed and 5 minutes later I can't sleep well. And then the problem is just only the same like just 1 minute that you sleep and then in the morning you wake up. The feeling like just only 1 second.
Wow, okay.
That even when my friend and it happened in more than 2 months, and then it disappeared. And even my friend or someone that called me or knocked at the door, I could not hear. Yeah, I didn't remember anything about it.
And you would just fall asleep and then you wake up in the morning, or were you sleeping?
I sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Soundly, very strong.
Very
Okay.
soundly. I don't know what's happened. I wonder, is there any problem with my head or something like that? But 2 months, it's normal. It's turning to normal.
Okay, and now what is it now?
Normal.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear or something like that, but I don't know what kind of that. The first year at the university.
Well, I don't know that I would say that's a problem. I think I would like that problem, actually. So I don't know that I would say it's a problem. I think sometimes, though, when we've got we either have problems with sleep, sometimes when there's a lot going on or a lot of change or a lot of things, sometimes we get so tired, we go really deep, okay, in our sleep. And that's actually better than a lot of people have the opposite problem, that now their mind's going so much that they can't go to sleep because they're trying to think about all the changes. So that's not so much of a problem. I mean, because, you know, you can set a very loud alarm or something that wakes you up if you had a problem. But usually people have the opposite problem, which is that they now have so much change, their mind's now they're sitting and staring at the ceiling going, oh wow, I'm at college and this and that, and what do I think? I'm away from my family. And they're thinking all these things. So, but it may have just been there was also a lot of, like, some stress with change.
Nothing stress.
What?
Nothing stress. It's different from my roommates I shared with you last night. We are different. I'm very easy to fall asleep, but whenever I just walking or do something like turn on the tap or something like that, she can wake up and she angry with me. It's different.
Yeah. That's cute.
I experienced that.
Yeah. I get like that only if I haven't, like, say I was doing too much work and not sleeping enough, and then all of a sudden the weekend comes and I go, oh wow, I had some deadline and I didn't sleep as much as I should have, and then all of a sudden I fall asleep and then it's like, wow, I'm out. You know, like nothing is going to wake me. You know. So, other questions? Yeah.
I avoid talk a lot when I am sleeping.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know about that, and in the morning, talk about
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I always speak out loud when I am sleeping. And yeah.
Did you dream?
Do you know what you're saying? Do other people tell you?
I don't know, and told me that I talked a lot last night, but I didn't remember what I said.
Did you have dream?
No.
No.
You probably were having dreams. So some people that talk out loud, it's like they're talking in their dream. They don't. So a lot of there's people that when they don't remember it in the morning, so they don't know that they were dreaming. Like some people wake up and they go, "Oh wow, I had these dreams," and they can say the dreams. And some people say, "Oh no, I didn't dream at all." But the roommate or their spouse or somebody else will say, "Yes, you were dreaming. You were talking. You said something," and they say, "Oh no, I did not." And they go, "Oh yes, you did." And so it probably was that you were dreaming. You just don't. You're so in a deep sleep you didn't realize it, and that you're saying that out loud as you're. It'd be interesting to hear from someone like a roommate what you say. Do you remember anything I said? Or what was the feeling you had in the dream? Because that will tell you. Like if you seem concerned or worried or upset in the dream, or are you happy in the dream? Just at least like what are you dreaming? Dreams are our way of kind of processing what's going on in us. So they're interesting. I used to take a time when I'm having a lot of dreams, I write them down the next day. And similar, I try to understand them and say, what was that? Why did I dream that? And I really write it out like it was a story and try to understand it. Because then I understand what's going on in me. Maybe there's something in me that I'm not aware of that I'm feeling.
So it is no more problem.
What?
It's not a problem. I do this sometimes because whenever I feel tired during the day, and I will be talk about during. I think it is symptoms expression that we are not in a good mood and or not in a good physical health. So we talk. I do this sometimes.
I dream every night.
You do? Okay.
I always have dreams in life. Yeah.
And many times I remember my dream. Some not, but many more dream. I remember more dream than.
We're going to say for the sake, I told Tom I was going to tell the camera what the questions were, and I have been forgetting. So I'm going to just say we're talking about dreams and sleep. And I think it is helpful though to be aware of your dreams if you can, to write them down, to understand. To me, they're like clues of what's going on. Sometimes we have a lot going on, or we're stressed, or and the dream will tell you something to pay attention to. Often the dream will tell me something I'm really feeling, but maybe I'm too busy to notice what I'm really feeling. And so then the dream will say, "Oh wow, I'm having a theme in this dream. Why am I having this?" Sometimes it might be about my work, or somebody I'm helping, or something that's personal, or maybe it's something about a relationship in my life. And then the dream is like my tool to help me. Because they say that we have things that we're aware of, that we're what we call conscious of, and then there's things that we're not aware of, we're not conscious of. And in our dreams, those things often come out. So, interesting. Other questions?
I have a question.
Okay, yes.
For my husband, whenever he sleeps before 10 p.m., he often wake up at 2 p.m. Is it very difficult for him to sleep again?
Oh, 2 p.m. or 2 a.m.?
2 a.m.
Oh, so okay. And what? Okay, so and then can he go back to sleep?
It will take more than 1 hour.
Oh, he does. Okay, yeah. And then what if he goes to bed at 11? Does he?
If he sleeps at 11 p.m. or late than that, it would be okay for me.
Okay. So, I mean, some people are just sensitive that way. I mean, some people have different like biological, what they call biological clocks. So some people are more night or nocturnal, like they do better going to bed late and then they can sleep more. And some people do better going to bed early. I like to go to bed early and wake up early, but I know, like, I have a daughter, and a lot of my people in my family, they go to bed late. So if they go to bed early, they can't even fall asleep. And so, you know, one is that's not if he's not too tired when he wakes up in the morning, then maybe he just goes with a little bit later, as long as he sleeps enough. You know, otherwise, then he has to think of a plan to help him go back to sleep at 2 o'clock in the morning. You know, and then maybe he, you know, gets some help. Some people do better. I don't know if he's exercising, but some people it helps them if they're like to sleep better, if they like are making sure they're getting enough exercise.